观众朋友们，大家好，欢迎收看今天的 Star Luxe， 我是莹莹。中国新年呢，不仅仅是我们中国人的专利，但是随着中国文化的盛行，近几年非常多的西方主流社会也开始融入这个庆祝的阵容。那么今天呢，莹莹把大家带到了美国著名的百货公司 Bloomingdale。也许大家还并不知道，它是隶属于 Macy 公司旗下的。虽然有着适中的价格呢，但却比 Macy 有着更潮流的style。那么今天呢，我们邀请到Bloomingdale's 的 CEO Michael Gould 先生来参与我们今天的节目，看看 Bloomingdale's 是如何庆祝中国新年的。Hi Michael, how are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
Good. I can see that you already set up beautiful stand for celebrating Chinese New Year. So can you tell us more about it?
Yes, we have. It's become a more important part of our business as more and more Chinese are visiting the United States, and also for the Chinese American people who live here. We believe that one of the biggest opportunities we have is to become even a friendlier store and to let people in China and mainland China know who we are at Bloomingdale's. We are a unique kind of a store. We still think we're a family store. We were founded by the Bloomingdale family in 1872. By American standards, that's a long time. But we still have the family culture in our company. And we feel very strongly about traditions, and we feel very strongly about all those things we've learned through the years at being a family business. So we feel very strongly as we celebrate the Chinese New Year, as we usher in the Year of the Snake, about being a friendly place, a place where people from China or anywhere can come and feel comfortable, where people speak so many different languages in the store that anyone can feel comfortable. So that's what we're trying to do.
So this year Chinese New Year is happening on February 10th.
Yes.
So do you have any plan for that?
Well, we have some fashion shows in New York that day, so I know we have that. And I've been down several times to where I have a younger son who's now 15, but we've gone almost every year to Chinatown on Chinese New Year. And one year the dragon came out right in front of us as we stand on the sidewalk there, and it was really very exciting. So we have done that on numerous occasions. And so
beautiful. And then you also referred as one of the most accomplished leaders in the retail industry. So, and also you started Bloomingdale's early as 1991. Am I right?
Yes.
So how did you start with the companies?
Well, I started with Bloomingdale's in 1991. I got out of school a long time ago. So when I got out of school, I started on a training program at a store called Abraham & Straus that was in Brooklyn, New York. Now it's part of the Macy's Corporation. And then 10 years later, I went to California and I ran a store there called J.W. Robinson, department store as the chairman. And then for 5 years, I was the president of a perfume company called Giorgio Beverly Hills. And then in 1991, I came to Bloomingdale's. And I think Bloomingdale's is really unique because Bloomingdale's, in my mind, is different than any kind of a department store because it's really what I call a brand unto itself. And I think Bloomingdale's captures so many different things that not only the people in New York or people wherever we have stores feel comfortable with, because we're a store for both the community and for the tourist. And I think that we're seen that way. And we're a store that's not too serious, but has a whimsical way about it. A store that has luxury, but a store that has of-the-moment merchandise. And I think that's who we are, and we celebrate different things. As far back, my predecessor, Marvin Traub, was probably the first American retailer to go to China in 1980. Actually, went earlier than 1980. But in 1980, Bloomingdale's celebrated China with a China exposition in the Bloomingdale stores. And so Bloomingdale's has had a very strong tradition with the people of China and the country of China since the early 1980s, late 1970s. And so we feel a kind of a kinship. And I just feel that that's something we want to continue to elaborate on and to build upon.
So is it any thing happening to help Chinese tourists, shop in Bloomingdale's?
Well, one of the things we're doing is just having and looking for terrific and spectacular sales associates who also speak Mandarin. A few years ago, we probably had no more than maybe a handful, if that, maybe, not even 10. Yeah. And now we have about 200. We believe that that is one of the ways we can make it more comfortable. The other way we can make it more comfortable is with our visiting service and our visitor center here in 59th Street on the balcony, but in our other stores in San Francisco and South Coast Plaza in California and in Chicago and our store there. How do we make it more comfortable when a Chinese visitor comes into a store? One is it easy to find? Two, do we have people that can speak the language and make it feel comfortable for you? I know when I travel, it's very difficult. You know, yes, if you go into England, it's fine. But if you go someplace else and you don't speak the language, you're hesitant to ask directions, you're hesitant to ask in the store. So how do we make it comfortable in the store? And so what we have done is we have selected a number of departments where we believe that Chinese visitors happen to like that merchandise in particular. And what are we doing, whether it be in the Ferragamo shop or the Louis Vuitton shop or the Gucci shop or the Estee Lauder shop? What are we doing in those shops to make sure those shops have great sales associates who also speak Mandarin? In our visitor center, we have a number of young ladies now who speak Mandarin, who make people feel comfortable coming into our store. I think one of the things that we define ourselves at Bloomingdale's is about we're an approachable store. I mean, there are other great stores in America, but I think from an approachable store that also sells luxury, I think that gives us a little something different. And people have to feel comfortable coming in our store.
And in China, actually, when I started heard of Bloomingdale's, it started from this little brown bag.
Yes.
So everybody was like, want to have that little like cute brown bags, the shopping bags. So can you tell us how it started?
Well, I think bags have been a long history. We used to have very unique designer bags at Bloomingdale's for many, many years. And then I think, I want to say in the 70s, during an energy crisis. It's questionable how the story how it really started, but as I understand it, I was working at that other store in town here, Abraham and Strauss at the time, Bloomingdale's in the energy crisis, so they were going to have this recyclable bag. If it wasn't recyclable, it was a brown bag, and they put big brown bag on it. And then that evolved into the little brown bag. And then I think somewhere in the last 21 years, about 17, 18 years ago, the medium brown bag came about. And so we've never changed that bag. And I know that people want fancy bags. We have holiday bags. But I really do believe that that brown bag, the little brown bag, the big brown bag, is one of the most iconic things about Bloomingdale's. And I think it's even more iconic than what we call our black and white tile on the main floor, on the ground floor in the cosmetic department. Because when you see the brown bag, it doesn't say, it only said Bloomingdale's on it for the last few years. Before that, it never had the name Bloomingdale's on it. It just said big brown bag. Now we have on the gusset it says Bloomingdale's. But that is about Bloomingdale's. And that is the whimsy of Bloomingdale's. It's not a serious bag. It's one you look at and you say, that's Bloomingdale's.
And what else you think really represents Bloomingdale's?
Well, I think what represents Bloomingdale's is the culture of Bloomingdale's. I think what represents Bloomingdale's is the heart and soul of the people in Bloomingdale's. I think what represents Bloomingdale's is the respect for culture and respect for art and fashion and beauty and things that are really classic. And I think that represents Bloomingdale's. That's on one side. The other part that represents Bloomingdale's are the people. And what represents Bloomingdale's is the connection we have to our customers, our clients, and the relationship we have to one another, our fellow workers. That's what represents Bloomingdale's. You know, there's probably not 1% of the merchandise in the store today, maybe a couple of things here, but probably not more than 1% that someone can't find within 10 city blocks. And so you say, well, what's unique about the store then? Because I have Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton has a shop on 57th Street. It's only 4 blocks away. Chanel has a shop on 57th Street. It's only 4 blocks away. So what's unique is our people. That's what's unique. And it's the feeling in the store. That's the DNA. That's why I really feel that when people come here, there's a different sense of feeling. There's an energy level about Bloomingdale's. There's a DNA about the store. There's this energy, this buzz that's going on all the time. And I think that's what Bloomingdale's is about. I don't think it's about a particular item from Lalique or Baccarat or Louis Vuitton. Yes, those are things that are important because we are selling those. But what we're really selling, in my mind, is a culture. What we're selling is a tradition. What we're selling is a heritage. And that's what makes Bloomingdale's different than I think anyone else.
I think for Chinese customers, they never experienced the Bloomingdale's after your speak. I think everyone start to, eager to come into Bloomingdale's and check it out. So what's going to happen? And then so for this Chinese New Year stand, only happen in this flagship Bloomingdale location or all other stores?
No, we have a number of stores. We have our store in Chicago, our store in San Francisco, and I believe our store in South Coast Plaza. And so we have a number of stores that are celebrating it in a much larger fashion than we have in the past, with shops, with special events, with culinary events going on, with dancing going on. So I really think that's part of it. And the other part of it is that a really concerted effort that we are making to really add as many terrific sales associates as we can who speak Mandarin. Not Mandarin-speaking people who are going to sell, but wonderful, terrific sales associates who can also speak Mandarin. And I think that gives us an opportunity to make people feel more comfortable when they come in the store. Because even if they speak English, they still want to feel a comfort level. And that's one of the things that we're working on very hard.
Very interesting and very impressive. Really moved me that I think even for the local Chinese residents, you should always come to Bloomingdale's and feel that you're shopping in somewhere that you treat you well and really think about you and really consider your behalf. So I really like that idea.
Hello, I'm Michael Gould, the Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Bloomingdale's. And it gives me great pleasure to wish each and every one of you a happy, a healthy, and the most prosperous Chinese New Year. I hope that each and every one of you and your families have a wonderful year. I hope sometime in the near future you have an opportunity to come and visit us in Bloomingdale's so we can welcome you in our home. Thank you very much.